Right, let's get more details around this matter. Security strategist Andy Mashaile joins us to discuss this further. Very good evening to you, Andy. Thank you for your time. I mean, phones and tracking devices switch off simultaneously. Does this speak to the possibility of well-resourced and capable nefarious actors?
It speaks of people who have done something similar to this before. For the fact that they were able to switch off the phones as well as and or remove the trackers from the car. It means these people were organized, they were not amateurs, and we have a serious responsibility to stop them dead in their tracks, obviously within the confines of the law.
As we try to make sense of the probabilities, what could have happened? We understand that two of the constables were part of Operation Vala Umgodi, which is investigating illegal mining activities. Could that in itself be enough to have put them in danger?
It could be if they were followed from Limpopo to the Free State and someone knew when they were going to go back to Limpopo, as we are told that they were off duty. I am assuming, given the facts in the public, that they were going back to that deployment site. So if someone else knew, if this is works of an organized crime syndicate, obviously they would have known the travel routes and many other issues related to traveling from their homes to their site of deployment.
As you use the word, organized crime syndicate, what here stands out as we try and make sense and piece the puzzle together in trying to establish where these constables are and why they were targeted?
Paul, there's a number of scenarios that one can generate, but one would want to leave that best to the investigators and the team that is responsible for tracking them down. But obviously, there's a number of things that we have to look into. One would be the issue of the use of technology by our police officers. One assumes or one looks at the number of clients that I have advised from a security point of view. Leaving home, you switch on your live location on your phone, be it an Android or an iOS, and also having things like your AirTag that you throw somewhere in the boot of your car in the spare wheel area. That AirTag will, the battery life is 1 year, operates according to Wi-Fi. All where there's Wi-Fi spot, it would send information back to your home or to those 5 individuals that you have locked in, as people can help you. Also, looking at the network app, the network legend that's on that AirTag. Whoever uses the same phone that has AirTag worldwide, they would be able to track and locate and send back the signal to whoever has been designated to receive any communication in the event like this of a loss or of a missing person. In this case, missing police officers who must always be protected at all times and be respected by whomever that they interact with in the public.
So what does this now say about the vulnerability of police?
One, if this was organized, it means the police have a long route, a long way to go in terms of ensuring one of their own or some of their own. If this was just a rec check operation of a hijacking nature or a hijacking syndicate, there is no way in which one would have known that those individuals were police officers until that they have, until the hijackers or the suspects or those evil people who have kidnapped allegedly as well as hijacked the car arrived at the spot and identified that these were police officers. Obviously, they are not going to allow them to go easily back to their homes and back to their place of operation. And I am also sending in a stern message that those of us who are members of the public who would kidnap and hijack police officers will meet the mighty arm of the law, be it your law enforcement agencies in the blue uniform and the brown uniform, and members of the community, particularly those who are related to the police. Your community policing fora would obviously engage with the communities, gather information and send it to the investigators through obviously their police station and station commanders.
So what we do know is that police say they have no leads so far, and they've also offered a reward of 350,000 Rand to anyone who has information that will be of value to the police. As that process is underway, what are some of the big questions that should be asked as they try and piece the puzzle?
The first question would be, have you seen a car of this nature? The second question would be, in your area, which house or which area has an abnormal activity at different times of the day? Which area is your hotspot? These questions would be directed, amongst others, to members of your community policing fora, particularly your sub-forum, those who live in the sectors, the smallest policing units. They would be asked, and obviously they would have identified some abnormal activity in area A or area B, street A or street B. And that kind of information would then be pieced together by our honorable South African policing services and all other force multipliers, be it specialized security companies, as we have seen in the vision tacticals of the world, having worked hand in glove with the police in identifying abnormal activity that led to the apprehension of criminals.
Do you think it was a good idea for police to come out and be public about this and offer the reward publicly, as well as say that they have no leads?
It was a very good move. Remember that in the syndicates, they do fight amongst themselves, and there are those who want to have money to the exclusion of others. So this award might lead the police to get a call from, to get a call from one of the members to say, this is where these police officers, the missing police officers are, and this is where the car has been dumped, or this is where the car was left for stripping. So it is a very good move. I have been related in the past, as you know, Mpo, and some of your colleagues in the production room, that the police have a responsibility, amongst others, to ensure that the safety and security of their own and members of the public is guaranteed. One way or the other would be these rewards that are then put out there in the public. Obviously, to incentivize the public to bring out information that might lead to the arrest of the perpetrators.
Very well. Thank you so much for your insight. Speaking there to security strategist Andy Mashaile, talking about some of the moves that have been made by the SAPS as they continue to search for 3 missing constables.